Jay here for Full-Time Devils. What are you doing there? You messing about already? Hey, do you know what? I'm not even going to start again. It's Jay here for Full-Time Devils. This is the podcast. Joining me is the infamous Andy Tate.
Motty.
And the even more infamous Stephen Howson.
I was just wondering if he was going to give me a name going into that. Infamous.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I'm
infamous.
Notorious.
Alright, the notorious Stephen Howson.
No, that's been ruined since Conor McGregor, hasn't it? The notorious.
Yeah, let's not go
Loved
down
it under the big, you think.
Down that route. Bit of a...
Hey, so on the way into work this morning, guess who I drove past?
Go on.
I'll give you 3 guesses.
Raheem Sterling.
No, but you're on the right track.
Hey, yeah. Kevin De Bruyne.
No. City's goal scorer.
Otamendi.
Ooh. He was turning right into the City Stadium training ground thing as I was stuck in traffic going straight ahead. Clocked him. I went...
Did you do the whole 2-1 thing?
No, I just went...
Did he spit on your windshield?
Give him a quick thumbs up, alright? And he went like this.
Mate.
Don't think he watches the channel.
No. Well, you never know. You never know. You'd be surprised, Steve. You would actually be surprised at the people who do watch this channel, honestly.
Probably would.
So,
needless to say...
Why many of them won't work with us?
Otamendi didn't have as many smiles as I did this morning. Can't work out why.
Mate.
I know.
Might have had something to do with the derby result of the weekend.
Well, it wasn't a bad weekend, was it?
It's alright.
Hey, do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I've had worse.
Yeah.
I've definitely had worse. I went home and had a Chinese. It's fucking mint.
Mate, how good was it? Just everything about it, right? Because the start of the expectation was quite low amongst a lot of us.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were like, we're going to go there and dominate and absolutely tear them apart.
Yeah.
It was like, I admit, I said I'd take a draw if it was offered me. Right now, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, of course. You didn't take a draw.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what? As they did score their consolation goal, I didn't think it was a consolation goal. I was like, fuck. If Sheffield United can pull us back, I think City might.
At this point, right, I was outside the Etihad, and I thought their consolation goal was a goal for us. Because the cheers were that muted, but obviously I'm outside the United end. It sounded like it was coming from the United end. And we felt, you're trying to keep updates on your phone or whatever. So I thought if we got a third, and then it was like, no, it's 2-1. I'm thinking, shit, there's enough time for him to get back into this.
Actually watching it, not only was I thinking shit, I was trying to swallow my underpants with my trousers.
Exactly.
All coming
They
into
did
it
have
as well.
one chance, but De Gea saved it. When they made it 2-1, I thought a couple of years ago, remember we were 2-0 up, and they pulled it back to 2-2. It was like...
But do you think, though, and I mean, I don't want to go too much on the City, we'll talk about United, but with City as well, they haven't got that little bit extra that they've had. They haven't maybe not got that, I don't know if it's desire, I don't know if it's belief. They just don't seem to be able to go...
totally unrelated, not in any way connected note, Russia's been banned for drugs, for everything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be sitting here suggesting that maybe that at one point Manchester City and Pep Guardiola might have been juicing their players. I'd never say anything along those lines, and I'd never say that a man that's previously been convicted of doing drugs when he was in Serie A playing for Brescia, and then hired that coach when he came back to Barcelona, no way would I say that there's any possibility that he could have juiced his team when he was at Barcelona and they was running around like 50% more than any other team, or at Manchester City when he was at Manchester City and they was running around any other team, and now you contrast that to the amount of running that they're doing and it's a lot less, and you wonder if they maybe gone clean and they was doing it in the past. I would not suggest anything like that, so I don't know why they're looking like they haven't got that extra oomph, mate.
What are you having for your tea tonight? I might have chicken, No. I'm glad you've not said that. I'm glad you've not said that.
I wouldn't cast aspersions on someone who's... Look,
legally
he's a phenomenal manager that just works with the tools at his disposal, doesn't he? It's not like he's had to go and spend $1 billion at 3 clubs. This is a guy that can just go to the academy, pick out rough diamonds and polish them highly into successful players. It's not like he's got what he calls the best academy product, or the best player he's ever seen, and he gets less time than I do.
On the City and Doctor and that whole thing, why didn't they put a doctor in that £300 million medical facility they bought?
Like, why did they keep the one in Barcelona?
Yeah, why didn't they have a doctor there?
Because I reckon it's some...
Like, I don't get that. Why did you build a £300 million medical facility but you don't have any doctors in it? So you have to send all your players over to Barcelona to get medical treatment.
It's on top
Someone's
of
like proper dropped
Bayern
a ball there,
Munich
haven't they?
seen their ass with him sending players back to Barcelona all the time, didn't they?
They not like the fact they come back fucking jumping for hoops after they were wrote off the rest of the season.
Oh, allegedly.
I
mean, if you see like De Bruyne go down, don't even take him out your dream team. Just fucking...
Seems someone getting stretched off.
Is it?
Don't worry about that.
Is
Get
it?
him on. They don't actually send them to the doctors anymore. They don't send them, to the treatment room. They just put them straight on a plane.
Yeah. On a
It's like
serious
there's an
note,
airport next to the Etihad.
If you've not seen the documentary Icarus, which I'm going to go bold here, and I think it's justified, the greatest sporting documentary there's ever fucking been or ever will be.
Ooh, mate, I don't know. Better than When We Were Kings?
It's the greatest sporting documentary that the world has ever created. It's outrageously good. So there's you seen it?
No.
What? Have you
Is
seen
this
it?
the one with Lance Armstrong?
No.
Right, no, I haven't.
So there's a cyclist guy called Brian Fogel. I think that's his name, something like that. He was like a college level cyclist, and all this stink came out of
Right.
Lance Armstrong, and he's like, "How easy is it to actually dope?" So he goes and starts talking to people and goes, "I want to do a documentary about me doping to see, one, what the impact is, and two, how easy it is to get away with it, because obviously what Lance Armstrong done." Now there's a race in France which is like the amateur version of the Tour de France, and instead of being like 4 weeks, it's like 2 weeks, something like that, and it's brutal. And they even said on the Tour de France, you shouldn't even do it if you're not on steroids, because it's just that hard. Like you'd basically be on steroids just to survive it. So he starts doping, and they get hold of some Russian guy called Grigory, and he's helping him take drugs and also freeze his piss, because they're going to put his piss into the system to prove he's clean, and like, this is how they get away with it.
Right, okay.
In the middle of all this going off, I think it's RTL, German television, uncovers a big stink about the Sochi Olympics, where the Russians doped the shit out of the Sochi Olympics. This Grigory was the head of the VADA lab in Russia that basically did it all. So he's about it, right? He's not fucking about. So the documentary takes a left turn halfway through and becomes all about how Russia managed to just cheat the whole fucking world. And he's like, yeah, everybody, soccer players, rugby players, like every single sport, we doped everyone. We doped everybody. And here's how we did it. And then here's how we got around, because if you're an athlete at the Sochi Olympics, they take 2 samples off you, they pour it in each, they put these uncrackable lids on, so you have to break the lid off to open it. Well, they could open them. And they would take the dirty piss out and they'd put clean piss in, but to get the specific gravity correct, they had to put loads of salt in them. So he was like, if you test some of them, they'll be just laced with salt. And they did, and they're like, oh shit. And then they found like microscopic cracks on the lids where they'd like took these claws off them and got rid of the lids. And they was putting clean piss in like plug sockets in the lab, so that the scientist would go to test the piss and he would like pull a plug socket out and it'd be the clean piss that he's meant to put in there, and he'd put the dirty one in there.
It's like
and the
some
KGB,
James Bond shit.
Well, KGB was involved ferrying the piss from their headquarters, which is about 50 metres away, in a tunnel up into the finger. It's the best documentary, because you're sitting there going, what the fuck? It's amazing. So after you've watched that and you go, of course there's steroids in sport. And if you then start, I'm not going to say this, that and the other, but go and just Google Dr. Fuentes and see Dr. Fuentes and see he was he's got an office in Barcelona, an office in Madrid, and he said if the truth ever came about, Barcelona would have to give back Champions Leagues and Spain would have to give back titles. So that's what he says.
We've talked about this in your podcast.
I think we have, yeah.
I think it'd be great if 2009 and 2011 in particular.
Yeah, I don't. Whoever came second.
Yeah.
Just, I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But just give them that.
So we've been cheated out 2 Champions League finals.
Allegedly, for the purposes of our lawyers.
2011, they played the beautiful football, didn't they? That season.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm going to say
we were there
allegedly.
bitching that final.
They were off their fucking tits. According to Dr. Fuentes, because I wouldn't ever throw those sort of aspersions on anybody's character.
I'm sure that it's all
certainly not a man
legitimate.
in Pep Guardiola that, as a player, was found guilty of using nandrolone, and then he blamed his doctor, which I guess is fair enough. And then, like, if I was a footballer, stop laughing. If I was a footballer and Jay was my doctor, and Jay'd given me some dirty shit, and I got done for it and banned because of it, wouldn't you find it a bit hot that when I get a job as a manager, the first person I ring up to come and be the doctor for my team is Jay?
Yeah, it's a bit.
That's a bit on top. I'm just saying that's on top. I'm not saying there's anything. I'm just saying.
Maybe he's just a very thick.
I'm just saying,
person.
look into it, maybe.
And we know there's a shortage of doctors anyway. There's a doctor strike.
That's a point.
Do you know? Remember
Brexit, isn't it?
There's a doctor strike. I remember covering it when I was a reporter. So obviously Pep was struggling for doctors that much. He had to go to the one that gave him the dirty shit.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He didn't want to. He just.
He's the only one I can find in my phone.
Can I ask this? A couple of years ago, Juventus were found a betting scandal. They stripped a couple of their titles, didn't they? Yeah. Could they do that to Barcelona? Could they strip it from the record?
No, because they're balls deep in UEFA, so I'm probably going to say they'll probably ban us.
So they ban us?
But yeah, even like people hate. I mean, like attendances were fucked in Italy for a good few years. Yeah. And they're still a bit down because people just went this whole fucking thing's dirty. Now the FA actively cover up failed drug tests for footballers in England. So everything that the FA says about a clean game, and I think that lies. They cover up thingies. Like people get 2-week shadow bans where they're not allowed to play for 2 weeks and they're injured. But they're not injured. They're on a drugs ban. And they only reveal it on the third time that you fucked up. Right, so the FA is paying fucking absolute lip service.
Just playing a little bit of devil's advocate here. Is there not that element of when you're an athlete, you're taking lots of different drugs, you may be trusting people as well, and it can happen accidentally?
It does happen. It does happen accidentally. I mean, obviously I'm a big UFC fan.
Yeah.
The UFC had the same level of testing that they have in Premier League and in football.
Yeah.
Right? That's referred to as the steroid era.
The golden era, the steroid era.
It's called the steroid era because those type of tests are apparently so fucking easy to manipulate and so easy to pass that they call it an intelligence test to pass it. Like if you're not thick, you pass in those tests because it's urine and urine can be manipulated.
Well, that counts me out. Anyway.
They've now changed the way they do it, and the UFC
me and Andy are out that one.
Takes blood. And that's harder to manipulate. And they've also stopped people doing IVs because they used to rehydrate using an IV.
Right.
Now they're not allowed to use IVs no more because the people are using IVs to blood dope and stuff. So if they just eliminate IVs, there's little plastic particles end up in your bloodstream. So the people were saying, oh, it's because I rehydrated. Now they're just like, well, you're not allowed to rehydrate using them because we want to see if anyone's using IVs for drugs. It's insane. So the UFC's level of drug testing now is mental. People know it's mental. People are still doing steroids. But like I said, the level that they was testing to previously, which is what football tests to, is known as the fucking steroid era. People still got caught then. But for some reason, I don't even know why the UFC felt it really needed to go turbo on people taking steroids, but they did. And it just go look at Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem, in the steroid era, looked like a fucking cartoon character.
Really?
Absolute cartoon character. The first fight he had under the VADA testing, he looks like a darker version of me.
Really?
Yeah, it's horrendous. And you're like, mate, what happened? Or just Google Alistair Overeem or Ubereem before and after.
It's an education, this podcast, people. This isn't just random shit, chatting shit about the derby.
It's outrageous. So I'm just saying, I think there's fucking drugs in football. I would absolutely say, I'm certain there is drugs in football. And obviously I know quite a few people in football. I know people who are strength and conditioning coaches. And I've said, talk to me about drugs in football. They've all gone, I don't think it's there. But I don't fucking believe them. Like when I was at Salford, I played rugby league professionally. I know a lot of people don't know this about me, but I was 5 years as a professional rugby league player. When I was 16, I was offered steroids. And I fucking wish I would have took them. That's my fucking stance on it right now, because I didn't, and everyone else just
because when I was 16, I was offered drugs a different time. I wish I'd have said no to them, if I'm being honest. Could have saved me 15 years of hike.
But in hindsight, everyone just got fucking jacked over summer, and you're just like, what happened? And I'm like, I'm just eating chicken 3 times a day.
All right, we're laughing at it and that, but you want it to be fair. And when you think things like that, it does sort of take the romantic view we have of football.
Marcus Rashford and Dan James are always going to be a fucking 100 mile an hour quicker than Nicky Butt ever was. What's fair?
Yeah, but that's natural. That's that's God-given, if you will.
So is that fair?
Keeping yourself fit, looking after yourself, dedication, sacrifice. You forget, nothing boils my piss more than the absolute garbage you've seen spouted about some of our young players. And he only cares about this, and he only does about this, and he's more on social media. Listen, when Marcus Rashford was 18, he was playing for Manchester United, he was dedicated to Manchester United, he wasn't going out on the piss. When we were all 18, you don't even want to know.
We all went on the piss. Of course we did.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So this idea that they're not dedicated or distracted is a load of rubbish. So, but the point I'm getting to is...
Because his family call him boring because he's that...
Exactly.
Because he's just fucking...
Exactly.
He just cares about football.
Yeah. So, it's a load of nonsense, but my point is...
His family's got a big dog as well. He's the family man. He's got
the big dog.
I've seen his dog. He's massive.
Pardon?
He's not bad at football, Max Rashford, is he?
Like we've been saying.
Yeah. It's weird,
fucking Christ.
It's weird, that, isn't it? It's weird.
Look, he just needs better players around him. Marshall comes back in. He's got 10. He'd argue 11, and I'm with him on that as well.
That
He's
one
got
against, was it Nick Pope? Not Nick Pope, Tom Eaton.
Yeah, Tom Eaton don't want that goal.
No, Tom Eaton don't want that goal. Marcus does want it. It's off the inside of the post. It's going in. It's going across the back line.
Man.
It's his goal, come on.
It's more his goal
I love
than
the
it is
chat
Tom
between him
Eaton's.
and Sammy Abraham on Twitter, by the way. I love that. It's good stuff, it is. But yeah, I mean, not to say we told you, not to say we told you so, but we fucking did. Like for the last 5 years, we've been saying Marcus Rashford's absolutely mint, and pretty soon he's going to start.
Where's all the
banging in goals.
Trashfords and fucking
Rashback.
Rashback
Them
and
people who rant,
you only
you know what
fucking
I mean?
defer about him, going on about you only fucking talk about him because he's from Manchester. No. Like,
Talk
he's a
about
fucking
him
good player.
because-
Hang on, should we
yeah.
just list some of the players that haven't scored as many as Marcus Rashford this season? Aguero, Sterling, I think he's a level with Aubameyang.
I think
Mane's
so.
got
I
less
don't
than
think-
him.
I don't-
Salah's got less than
Salah's
him.
got less than him.
Pepe. Has he fucking played any games yet or what? Because I think I've scored as many as that fucker.
He might get a game tonight. But
I'd like, show some respect, Andy. Don't bring Pepe's name into this.
Pepe?
We're talking about good strikers here. Okay.
I thought you were talking about the Portuguese defensive midfielder that used to play for Real Madrid. That Pepe.
he was a nasty.
He's got probably got more.
He was good.
He's probably got more
nasty.
goals than the one that plays for Arsenal. I don't even count them or him in this conversation in any way, shape, or form.
Preempting the fucking comments, some of them have been penalties. Yeah, sometimes strikers score penalties.
Do you know what? That's quite interesting. That because Alan Shearer doesn't count the penalties he scored.
Yeah, and
So when you see that thing that's the 260 Premier League goals, he don't like that because he doesn't count the 60 odd of them that were penalties.
Red Issue back in the day. They occasionally did like some journalistic stuff. They didn't just fucking go after people, but they did something where they looked into Andy Cole's record. I can't remember what year this was. I feel it's like about 2000 maybe.
Yeah,
And
probably.
Alan Shearer's record, and you take the penalties away from Alan Shearer, and it was like shot accuracy, goals conversion. It was fucking eerily similar. But if you went, Andy Cole's the greatest striker the Premier League's ever seen, he was spat at.
Yeah.
But if you said about Alan Shearer, then people go, well, do you know what, maybe this guy, but no one's going to fucking call you a fucking idiot.
No.
And that's just
Well, do you know what it is though? It's this whole thing of let's try and find a negative. Right, if we're going to talk about Ollie's record, let's only talk about his record as permanent manager because that's worse than his record since he became manager of Manchester
let's
United.
not talk about the fact that he broke the record for the amount of wins in his first 10 games. Does it not count no more of that?
Let's ignore
Then
Paris.
points count to where we came in the season.
Let's
didn't it?
ignore Paris. That didn't happen because he wasn't
Paris-
permanent manager. Let's ignore, going to wherever it was to
Wembley.
Tottenham.
Can I ask
to
that question?
Sorry, Wembley. Yeah.
Can I ask the question about that night in Paris? If we'd have gone out just like 2-1, would have finished fourth that season?
Oh, well, one day, but we didn't, and I broke a chair, and it was fucking happy days.
Do you know what? That was like. Honestly. I felt delirious after that night. I genuinely felt I was like
lightheaded for a week.
Someone asked me to do something for the radio. My old boss asked me to do some radio, and I recorded the first bit. I pre-recorded it, and listened back, and it was just gibberish. He's just gobbling it. He's like, and then 99, and then the new camp, and I was like, I
don't remember an
just doesn't mean anything.
explosion of emotion.
Yeah.
Since John Terry fucked it up.
Yeah.
I was. Do you know what? I was convinced. I mean, to be fair, you were having none of it. But I was like, 20 years, it's written, it's on the account. And you like, this is one of the moments where Alisson's like, Jay. And then, yeah. Barcelona
and
happened.
fucking your mate's trying to do fucking Cruyff turns in his own half. Fucking hell's he on about? If you've not seen it, by the way, if you just go onto YouTube and just type Ashley Young doing a Cruyff turn in the new camp for an hour,
I
it's
will
one of my
say
greatest
this till the
videos.
day I
It's got
die.
clown music with it
I
as
will
well.
say this the day I die. Every single person that watched the first leg of that game knew Ashley Young could have no part in the second leg. Right? Everyone.
Molly.
Except Ollie. Right? So, yes, we can blame Ashley Young and I get it. But Ollie was off his fucking head. Not only picking him, but playing in his less preferred position of left back, which was just madness.
Who up against Messi?
Yeah.
No problem.
Youngie's got this. Don't worry about this. Youngie's got it.
We move
and then,
back.
and then,
I'd love to have been a fly on the wall in the team talk for that.
boss,
You're going to trap Messi then? Yeah.
boss, I'm just looking at the tactics board here. You've got me next to Lionel Messi.
Yeah, and you've drawn a circle round us.
Yeah, don't worry about that, son.
What
I've
does
got
that
faith in
mean? That means stay close. Does it?
I like the way David De Gea thought. Don't worry, Youngie, I got you back. I'll just let one in for you. So it's not all on you.
Should we get back to the gloating?
No.
Yeah, sorry, let's go on. We've got lots of gloating to do. You're right, go on.
No, like Monday morning, you can have a nice walk coming into town or getting on the Metrolink like that with your jolly Jolly Star Wars jumper day.
Andy's walked into town 5 times this morning just to do it. Just to keep bumping
I
into City
walked
fans.
into the office and I could hear Andy talking to Nick, and he just the words out of Andy's mouth as I walked in was, "Robots don't age," and I was like, "Do you just wish you was like vlogging or something?"
Robots do age.
They definitely age. They get rusty.
Yeah. Metal ages. Have you never had to replace a part on your car because it's aged?
I was talking from a sci-fi point of view. I'm a comic geek.
I'm not going to argue with you about comics. Cause that's like arguing with you on Twitter about anything.
Talking gibberish on a Monday
He
morning.
just wears you down, even if he's wrong, he ends up right because you just lose the fucking will.
So we've been talking about alleged drug taking, the Manchester derby, and the fact that robots don't age. That's a great Monday, that, isn't it?
It's a good podcast.
Was that all of our defenders' best game this season?
No,
That played.
I don't think Luke Shaw had a particularly outstanding game.
But has he had an outstanding game this season? I thought he had a 7 out of 10 game, which I don't think he's had this season.
Has he had an outstanding game since he fucking did his leg?
No.
I think he might have had one, maybe.
We were not arguing. We were talking about him probably being third or fourth choice left back.
Yeah.
If you're going to be honest, your mate's first. I'd even put Rowe and maybe Tuanzebe and Rowe in there.
I heard the lineup. I was like, oh.
But I'd say,
being honest,
sure, if we're going to give ratings, I'd probably.
Can we
give
get
7.
some? Listen, commenters, you motherfuckers. Can we get some fucking respect on Jesse Lingard's name, please?
Yeah, because I did you a favour on Saturday morning.
No, I did. I had to fucking turn notifications off.
Because you're my mate. I had clipped up the bit where you said Jesse Lingard should start against City, and I let you. I didn't clip it just that bit. I let you have the bit of an explanation where you said in the big games he's just the type of player you want, and I'm about it, right? And now you can do a bit of gloating thanks to me because in the big game he turned up and we won again. So you're welcome.
Against Everton, against Colchester, against who else we got coming up?
I don't know. Alkmaar.
Like
Watford.
Watford especially.
That stinks of.
Don't want to see Jesse Lingard in that
Jesse
game.
Lingard not having a good game and everyone going
Newcastle.
Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
Any team that's going to sit back, you don't want him. Match of the day. Have you ever heard of Match of the Day? It's a programme on BBC.
Is this the one that Gary Lineker goes on sometimes?
I think
he's not
so.
tweeting?
Yeah.
Right,
so I only found that this week. So check that out if you've not heard of it.
I remember it from back in the day.
Was it in the 90s?
Yeah.
Was it on
Some
the 90s?
90s. It used to be on in the 90s.
It's definitely not been on for the last 6 years.
I've definitely not seen it since then.
Not since Fergie left have I seen that programme.
They cancelled
it. They highlighted exactly what Jesse does with both movement and the way he links the play. And because it's not an assist, it's just a link pass. Whoever wins it in midfield, they find Jesse and Jesse finds somebody else. But it's that enabling that he does to somebody else.
Paul Scholes. I don't want to hear about Paul Scholes' assists. Yeah. You're not getting the fucking point. Paul Scholes will turn nothing, there's nothing happening, and he'd do a killer pass that plays in someone like Giggsy or Beckham, who then lays it off to Cole or York, and they get a goal. But
and Scholes got no assist.
Exactly. But he's created something out of nothing. And Jesse Lingard, I'm not saying he's like Paul Scholes, but everyone gets fucking excited.
That's exactly what he said.
I did. I said he's better than Paul Scholes.
What?
Paul Scholes in his 40s though. So.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. Paul Scholes can't even play non-league anymore.
He still got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask. I'm asking the question, whether or not he answers the question.
Right, fair enough. But yeah, Jesse Lingard had a very good game. But my point earlier, we'll get to Jesse, was that you think Harry Maguire, all right, Luke Shaw, we can say he's not had a great season anyway, so...
Wan-Bissaka was... Have you seen that video of just Wan-Bissaka's moments in the game?
The one that lasts for about an hour?
Yeah.
Fred's also got one.
Fred, again.
Fred megged Rodrigo in the middle of a 1-2, he megged someone.
I love Fred, right? The thing I love about Fred, is the way that he seems to be so calm under pressure as well. He doesn't sort of
being
lose
Brazilian.
It. Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't always work out.
No, a Brazilian and a Scotsman.
Yeah,
happy days.
That's like the perfect cocktail, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what you need—a double pivot of Brazilians. As long as you get the right ones.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? You don't end up with Don Hutchinson and fucking I don't know.
So hard to
Rocky
think
Jr.
off the cuff,
Rocky
random
Jr.
shit Scottish players. Because you know what, and it's a sad indictment on the state of, and I blame Brexit, on the state of the league at the minute. There isn't as many good Scottish players as there was. Because there used to be loads of good Scottish players.
They did.
Not Darren Ferguson.
Brian McClare, of course, being one of them. No, but I'd argue it was Maguire's best game.
First player to score 30 since George Best.
I'd argue Maguire was his best game for United.
goal-
I don't know about that.
Yeah, their goal was.
I don't think he was bad in any shape or form.
No, I'm not having it.
No, I thought.
Would you say he's had a better game? Who would you say he's had a better game?
Off the top of my head, I can't.
All right, fair enough. If it's not Lindelof.
Thought he was decent again.
But I don't think he's had a good season.
Oh, he had
and this is the point I'm getting at with Shaw, with Lindelof especially. Wan-Bissaka played out of his skin, and he's had good games, but I think that was his best. Maguire's been a little bit patchy. He could argue he's not quite lived up to expectations. And I thought he played very well. And I thought Lindelof, who hasn't had a good season, who's probably been my most disappointing player, because I personally had him as player of the season last season, I thought he was very good.
There were 2 parts to him on Saturday. He put that block in on De Bruyne for that shot, was fantastic. Then he lost the ball and Sterling went on a run.
There were always going to be mistakes though, because the amount of pressure that back line was under.
Their goal was avoidable.
It was avoidable, yeah. And this is my issue with De Gea. There's elements of his game that make no sense. Why doesn't he come clean someone out? So many times he stays on his line in those situations, which is why some of the smaller teams, not saying City are, I mean they are, but you know what I mean, have a bit of joy against us in these games. Because he doesn't ever come and clatter someone. Like, he doesn't command a box, does he?
The two biggest criticisms you can have of De Gea are his distribution and commanding his area. And those are big elements in the game, especially now.
But his shot stopping's unhuman.
Yeah.
Yes. It's freak, but
and he did have a good game.
Sometimes you just go...
That's not to say he didn't have a good game, because...
How the fuck have you done that?
he did. You know, he played really well. But
how many chicken nuggets do you reckon you'd eat in one sitting?
How many? I could probably do the whole 20.
Well, I thought it would be starting at 20. Like,
well, how many could you do?
I don't know. I've never done it.
I do about 7 or 8. That's about it.
I've done over 100 chicken wings with no batter on them, like just like the skin, bone, proper
how many?
Wings. It was over 100.
100?
Yeah.
How many could you do?
A scout
7 or 8, if that.
A scout bet
so
me.
You could do 7 or 8. If I can do 20, you can do more than that.
Overload your system, not chance.
What's the point? You're supposed to put yourself in agony for
right,
other
so
people's
he can do
enjoyment.
100 and you can do 8?
No, not. But this is. See,
Then
there's
put
a
yourself
different.
in hospital. Yeah, really
this
clever.
is chicken nuggets. They're different to chicken wings, because chicken wings obviously real meat.
Yeah.
And they don't have the batter on. The batter's a big game player.
Yeah, it is. That's gonna be heavy on your stomach, mate. You could do well more than 7. Honestly,
You do 20 in a blink, mate.
You've lowered the bar.
You
there
do
too
20
low.
with no preparation. No
Put a
preparation.
couple of cans
I
of
think you could have 7 or 8 as a starter, and then go on to the main. And
Maybe.
100 with you, that doesn't fucking surprise me. Do you know what I mean?
That's chicken
just,
wings. Not chicken
typical
nuggets.
Howson,
Chicken
that.
wings. There's a difference.
Right.
A Scouser bet me.
What are you betting with Scouts as well?
Well, I'll tell you the story. So we're in Malio. It's lads' holiday.
With Scousers?
No.
Good lad.
It was the compare of the night we was in.
You know, that was a rip-roaring night.
So we've had a few drinks. Now, have you ever heard of if you have amaretto and Coke?
I used to, yeah.
It tastes like Dr. Pepper.
I was going to say, yeah, it does taste like Dr. Pepper.
So there's this drink called the Dr. Nicholas. It's got vodka, amaretto, and Coke in it. So
Lovely.
there's like 3 shots in it. About 6 of them. I'm a little bit on the tipsy side, to say the least. And this is when I was skinny Steve, so I don't have the
the 80s?
I don't have the drinking superpower that being fat gives you.
Right.
So I'm pretty smashed.
Yeah.
So we go to this all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet type thing, and got some chicken wings. Do a fucking banging at about 4 or 5. Like, ooh, fucking good then. Go up for a second plate. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Guy goes, hey, going up for a second plate, lad. You know, in a stupid Scouse accent.
You go...
Yeah.
He's like, he's interference.
And he's like,
what?
I just got another 5 or 6. He's like, you can't eat all them. And I'm like, another fucking half a dozen chicken wings. It's like, you mad? And he's like, you definitely can't eat all them. Shit powder. Oh, and I tell you what, I'll eat all them.
Was he 12, this guy?
No, he's in his 40s or something.
Oh my God.
So he's like a platter. Honestly, it's like a foot deep.
Right.
And it's a big fucking tray like that.
Where is this, by the way?
Malia.
Loves Malin. Yeah.
So I went, I'll eat all them. He went, no, you won't. I said, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to eat all them, and you're getting your dick out. And he went, all right.
Right,
So-
bit weird, but go on.
Yeah.
So a bit of trail. I was in the army owner, so.
Yeah, that's true. We all know what goes on.
I took the plate down, and I fucking polished off. Because drunk, and there's a Scouser and a bet on the line. You can't stop me, can you? So I polished the whole... I mean, imagine being at that barbecue going, I like them chicken wings, and this fucking dick's eating them all. I absolutely whooped about probably about 115, 120 chicken wings.
Oh,
and
man.
I was like, right, get your dick out. And he went, no. So I did. So I got naked as well.
Jesus.
I don't know about you, but I feel safer already that the security of our nation is protected by such esteemed professional people that eat 115 chicken wings in order to get a Scouser to get his dick out, and then when he doesn't,
sitting.
get their own dick out instead.
Dickless.
So there's loads of foreign people that don't get British or squaddy humour that are just going to be appalled.
You just got to go with it, mate. You just got to, do you know what I mean? I remember when I worked in Malia, and I think it was about...
What? One of them shot mithering bastards?
Yeah, Kimakis. I was outside. Come into the bar.
Get your free shot, lads!
Come into the bar.
Where you from, boys? Newcastle. Oh, great.
I remember come into the bar. Bobby Davro's in there telling jokes.
Bobby Davro?
Yeah, it wasn't.
He's on a certain game that we play that I don't mention the name of.
Oh, is it? Right, okay, yeah.
Definitely
Did anyone care on Saturday, by the way, or did anyone think, right, this is it now, we've given the Scousers the league?
No.
I didn't. I didn't even know it in my head. Someone said it to me later, and I was
Leicester
like, no.
won yesterday, so it's
Look,
not over.
they haven't won it in 30 years.
care.
Blackburn have won one. Arsenal have won a couple.
Chelsea.
Leicester have won one.
Chelsea won a couple.
Everyone gets a go eventually. So they're going to win
You
one.
can't spend, since the Premier League started, £1.5 billion
Yeah.
and not win the Premier League. It's just
We
done
did.
it.
That's 6 years.
Yeah, but we've we won it 13 times before that, so I think we're
How
out.
many times?
13 times won
In
the
the
Premier
last-
League. 13 times in the last 25 years, 26 years. So not a terrible record.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to make me fucking cry myself to sleep that I have to watch these win one. No, and the media's going to blow it all out of proportions. But like I've said to you in the past, what we're going to do is we're going to completely ignore it, not take any bait. Listen, Scousers, don't bother tweeting me. I ain't taking the bait. I'm going to revel in not taking the bait. I'm going to focus on fucking Pep Guardiola losing his shit, spending over $1 billion, can't play kids, got the best academy in the fucking country, got the best facilities in the country, got everything has been made for him, and he's fucked it up. He's gone one better than Pellegrini, and that's it. Get used to that, because you're going to hear a lot of that in the next 7 months. Liverpool have just won the league in record points. Yeah, and I'll tell you what about Pep Guardiola.
Pep Guardiola, yeah.
That's how it's going to be. How do you feel about Liverpool? Fucking Pep Guardiola. And if we win the FA Cup, we've got to play him in a Charity Shield because they're finally going to win a league.
Steve, what do you want for breakfast? I'll tell you about Pep Guardiola.
Yeah,
right?
Pep Guardiola, he's on his fucking bike soon as well, isn't he? Back off to fucking Spain.
It's all come to fruition. Last time they won the league, we won the FA Cup, like you say. Leeds got promoted.
Oh.
Fucking hell, so it comes
Could happen.
Could happen. We win the FA Cup.
There was a rule change which has happened since they won it, the pass-back rule. And then they had to bring VAR in, so that'll be one we're going on. You can't win it without fucking pass-backs and VAR, you fucking shit.
Goal line technology.
There's all sorts we can say.
Goal line technology is the only instance of technology in football just working. It doesn't interfere with the game.
There's no grey area as well. It's black or white. There's no interpretation of whether the ball is over the line.
Talking on the radio this morning. Could the league scrub VAR?
It's definitely more a visible, an
audio thing.
than a visual
an
thing.
audio. Could VAR be scrapped?
I watch the radio sometimes.
I don't think they're going to scrap it. I think it's here to stay. But some of the fucking Matt Letizia the other day on Soccer Saturday going on saying he thinks the offside rule and VAR's interpretation of it is perfect. I nearly fucking hit my telly. Are you mad? No, Joe, if you want to say VAR works as you think it should with this fucking bullshit armpit airs offside stuff, fine. But I think the rule needs changing. It's got to go back to daylight.
Daylight works, man. Daylight does, and you know it with daylight. And also, that's an advantage. If I've got daylight between me and the defender, I'm the attacker, there's an advantage there, yeah.
There's no
it's
advantage.
Just ridiculous.
What's the spirit of the law?
I could be facing the wrong way. I could be facing back to goal, and you could be facing towards goal. Yeah, I could be nearer to the goal than you are, and therefore in an offside position because my heel is offside and I can score my heel.
The emotion's gone out of the game now. You can't celebrate a goal.
No, look at Mings when he scored at Old Trafford.
I know, and he had a message for his mate who lost his baby, didn't he? And he said he didn't get it out because he didn't think it was. He wasn't sure it was a goal. I mean, that's an extreme that obviously isn't going to happen very often, but. I know, even though it was against United, it's a shame. It's a shame that he can't do that because
it was a fucking right finish.
Yeah, and he's got to wait until
football's
someone
about
in a box somewhere.
Explosions of emotion, right? That's what it's all about. Otherwise, why don't we just all watch Footy Manager?
Can you imagine, right?
Just watch the results on the old Championship Manager, the dots coming up.
When Teddy scores in the Nou Camp, right?
We got a VAR.
Watch him. Watch what Teddy does. The first thing Teddy Sheringham does when he scores, he glances at the linesman. You'll see it's clear as the day is long. Now, can you imagine if after he scores that goal? We go to VAR for 4 minutes. while they debate whether it is a goal.
We get a golf clap.
Yeah,
right,
we get, actually, it is a goal.
again.
And then we go back on, and by this time everyone's cooled down, and the Bayern Munich lads have got their heads together, and the manager's had a quick word with him. He's like, get a grip.
Or
man.
even worse, when Ollie puts it into the fucking roof of the net. Because there's all sorts of... I mean, Schmeichel's... he wasn't there for that one, was he? But,
no.
There's all sorts of shit that could have been offside, a
Ferguson's
foul,
playing it defensive.
whatever.
Schmeichel's not coming up for this one.
And then...
No, sorry.
And then he puts it into the roof of the net. Now, imagine that the lads didn't just fucking steam off the pitch and celebrate. It's not, and Solskjaer has won it. It's, and Solskjaer's put it in the net. Let's quickly go to VAR to see whether that's over or not.
Ryan Giggs has got his hand on Sami Khedira's elbow.
It's probably a foul.
So, I think we're going to have to give that as a foul, yes. And we don't win the treble. And
It's not just like you don't win the treble. That emotion of it's over. Just think about the words he says. And Solskjaer has won it. Not and Solskjaer scored. Not unlike it's in. Let's check it. It's he fucking won it. It's over. It's done.
Iconic.
It's as done as fucking Sami Khedira was after it. Because he was fucking done.
I almost did. Almost. But no, you're right. That's the problem. I mean, I said to you early on in the season, I know, right, looking back, it's ridiculous. And people look at this goal and go, Jay, what the fuck are you on about? But at the time, against Chelsea, when Marcus goes through and he scores at the beginning of the season at Old Trafford, I didn't celebrate quite as much as I normally would. I celebrated, but part of me was thinking, was he offside? Because it was so quick how he went through and I didn't see where the defender was. I was thinking he's offside. Are we going to get a VAR check?
He's got a couple of goals. It was
so I didn't quite go for it thinking, this is it, we've fucking done him.
The Spurs game, there was a little bit of hesitation in them because of the VAR stuff.
That's what I mean. It is. But the thing with VAR is, the people who are in charge of it, the people brought it in, they don't really care about the match-going fans.
They don't.
They don't give a shit about me and you or you. What? Stood in the Stretty.
Standing there just like, not knowing what's going on.
As much
not even knowing what they're checking.
Aston Villa, there was no announcements, no VAR or anything for Villa. All right, it was perfectly, it was onside, the equaliser, but no announcements, no nothing, just because it's not on telly and it's all for the fans. What a load of bollocks that is. Preach. So if it's your last game, you're drawing 2-2, no VAR.
Hashtag fuck VAR.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're saying here. I'll tell you what else you can fuck. And we're going to have to address it. Racism, obviously.
Yep.
And it seems that we're talking about this.
Did you see his excuse? I was trying to put my hands in the pockets.
Pulling up your pants.
For 20 seconds you don't put your hands in your pockets. You just do this.
Do you know what? Isn't it funny how there seems to be a sort of correlation between how spineless these racists are as well? None of them can say, do you know what? I fucked up. I lost my head. I shouldn't have done it. I did it. They always come out with some ridiculous excuse.
None of them ever just go, do you know what? And I've always hated Andy Peters and all. Like, just go and totally fucking own that we're a racist.
Dave Benson Phillips, don't get me started.
Listen, if you're a racist, be a racist 24/7. I could almost respect it, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But when you just fucking like, you're in a stadium, there's a guy that you know's not going to dive in the crowd because it's not Cantona and fucking end you.
I know.
Because that's what we would all like to fucking see, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know, it is a ridiculous excuse, and I can't even believe he's saying it. But we'll see what happens with him. I think he's been nicked, and rightly so. But something needs to be done. And
I think my hands in my pockets.
I think he's lost his job anyway.
And I've said this right because people will already start getting tribal and all. They'll go, oh well, you know, it happens at United, and I'm not just making it about United because it does happen at other clubs. It does happen at United, and United have got one of the highest arrest rates in the country. And you know what? For racism, and I'm proud of that because that tells you if someone's doing that shit at Old Trafford, they're getting grassed.
Yeah. I know,
and you know what I mean. I don't give me all snitches get stitches and all that. I get it.
United fan who the Liverpool game.
Yeah, but people.
Right, do you know what? Now, one of my lads, as you know, is a steward in the away end. Right, and he's Asian.
Yeah,
and he called him a Munich. Right. And that guy was arrested and ejected. That wasn't reported though.
Yeah.
It was only reported from what the United player did. Was it to one of the? I can't remember who
Trent,
it was.
I think he was.
But why is that not? Why is it not getting reported that someone in the away end did? Because I think Scousers like.
Yeah. So it does get very tribal with this sort of thing, but we can all admit that it happens everywhere. And I think the thing with it is. And this is the thing we've spoken about on this podcast as well. From our point of view, if we see it, we call it out. We tell them to shut up or fuck off. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what people need to do. I don't think the players need to do that. People going, Raheem Sterling should have got involved because he's an anti-racism campaigner. He's not going to go into the crowd and start fighting with his own fans. It's not Fred's job or Lingard's job to go and sort it out.
Has he made a statement on the back of it?
Who?
Right.
I don't know.
I didn't know it's
I agree with you. He shouldn't have made he shouldn't have fucking steamed in there and fucking headlocked him.
I applaud the City players for trying to calm the situation down, going over to the crowd.
I think
Some
a
of them
statement
did.
wouldn't be amiss afterwards.
Yeah.
I suppose. There's like people saying, look at him standing there.
A lot of the Liverpool fans who still hate him were jumping on it, like, look at Sterling, and that's really not, for me, the story here.
Are we really going to Liverpool fans looking for fucking sense on fucking race issues? Are we really doing that?
They are the most objective people you can get when it comes to it. They're not
didn't just
tribal in
fucking
any way.
hate Evra for being a victim of racism.
And their players didn't encourage fans to abuse him as well.
No, manager never got a load of t-shirts for a guy that was fucking
Unveiling
done
banners
for
as well and getting
righteousness.
barred. A couple of weeks ago at a Champions League match, they had a big banner of one of their players.
And even that, they didn't own that either. They was like, oh, it was just banter.
Just own it, man. Just own it. You know, if there's racism at Old Trafford, I'm angry about it if United fans being racist. I don't want to see it. I will call it out, and I don't want them anywhere near my fucking football club.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I don't care as much, actually, if there's a City fan being racist, because it's not my problem, it's yours. Do you know what I mean? So don't be like, oh, no. Fucking own it and get rid of him. Anyway, enough of that pond life. We won the derby. That's what matters.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
We're obviously the best team in Manchester.
Next game, Everton.
Do you know what I was going to do? And I started, and I only got about fucking 3 seasons in, and then I realised the absolute monumentality of the task. I was going to say, do you like to have the lineal heavyweight champion?
Right. I like the way this is going already. I mean, I'm feeling this one.
I was going to see who the lineal champions of football were.
Outright. Elucidate.
So, that means elaborate.
Elaborate, yeah. I was going to say that.
It means elaborate, but he's just trying to be smart because he was a journalist at some point.
Still, I'm a journalist. You never lose it.
Right, so the way I could have just done it. You can't really do it champions because you don't really lose a title that way like you do in boxing. Like, it definitely just goes to the guy that beat you. You don't always come second. So I was like, right, I'm going to have to do it game by game. Now, it's easy because the first official league, like Preston won it undefeated. Cool, we'll just skip to the second league. Who did they lose to? Now, the problem is, for about 19 fucking matches, the team that beats the previous winner loses the next fucking game. So it just goes beep, 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 beep.
Right, I'm with you.
So it's a fucking tough task. But I'm getting a fresh batch of interns in, so I expect it in about 6 weeks.
How do you even...
Aren't you interested in
I
finding
am
out?
interested.
What if it's like Corinthians in Brazil? The lineal
I just want to know
how
how you find the time, right, to watch all these documentaries you watch. Raise, how many kids have you got?
2 that have come forward.
Two that have come forward. Raise 2 kids, right? Run 2 channels. Come on this channel quite a lot. Argue with every motherfucker on Twitter.
Jay. I argue with 1%.
Right.
I let 99% of it slide.
But that 1% is still...
Yeah, we go hard.
About 300 people, if we're being honest. And you know what I mean? And also, if they've only got 2 followers, it doesn't matter if you've got 2 million or 2 followers. Steve will argue with him.
Yeah,
right?
whether it's Katie Hopkins or Katie down the road.
Yeah, he doesn't differentiate. Right.
Oh, I ended her though. You like the way we ended her?
That was great. Honestly, I love the facts as well that you're obviously someone who's been in the armed forces, and that's like her thing. And unlike her, you actually served. Do you know what I mean? You just do the training and drop out.
Fucking fraud.
Yeah. So that's always a confusing one for people like her who think that somehow, you know, she's got a God-given right to be racist because she was once part of the army, which is utter garbage. So yeah, how do you find the time to do all this and then embark on a project like that?
I'm semi-functionally mental.
I think we can all agree on that. That's the first thing we can all agree on.
I endorse that.
I'm quite intense. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that.
No,
I get fired up. If I decide I'm doing something, I'm fucking doing it.
Right.
Do you know what? I mentioned it on the 24-hour podcast. I'm going to tell it later. Right. And I know that everyone's going to laugh and you're going to clip this up, and I don't give a flying fuck. I know you will, literally. I'm going to coach in the FA Cup.
Right.
There you go. Said it. Now I'm going to go and do it. Right. Give me a few years.
I want to explain it a little bit deeper.
I think I know what you mean because I know what you're planning.
Because that could mean anything, right? I'm going to coach it. No, hear me out. It could mean like, you know, I'm going to peel the outside oranges for Altrincham because I'm going to
be the manager of a football team that is in the FA Cup.
Thank you. There we go.
Right. Specified, and I'm going to do it.
You're going to have your own football stadium?
I don't know if we'll have a stadium. We might just be playing on a semi-posh end.
If you don't know what he's on about, get involved over at Stretford Paddock. You've got your team that you're starting out. You've had quite a lot of entries as well.
Over 100.
And it isn't, don't worry, it's not just him shouting at you.
There's a few stadiums going spare.
Well, there's a bit of that, but it is being done to a high standard.
We've got more UEFA fucking like A's. We've got more UEFA alphabets than I've ever fucking seen. Like, I was actually shocked. So yeah, like Jay said, I was going to start a football team for Stretford Paddock, and I was just going to have a bit of Sunday League as a bit of a laugh. And then it just got well out of hand immediately. Like, we asked for people who was interested. We got some people that was interested. Over 100 fucking people have applied. And I've got a dozen coaches. I've got analysts. I've got fucking, like, literally the Monday Night Football apps and shit like that. We've got that. We've got a link up with UCFB University coming. The Etihad campus. Like, we're now trying to find a stadium to play in because, instead, like I said, if we... Look, we're going to make a reality TV, like, YouTube sort of thing. So it's not quite hashtag. It's slightly different. And we said, do you know what? If we just play Sunday League, there's no jeopardy, there's no interest. We could win 100 games out of 100. Still playing fucking Sunday League. It doesn't matter.
You're going to challenge other teams, maybe?
Well, we're going to have a year. Well, we was going to have a year of
some
friendlies.
teams down south.
But we're thinking about joining just the Manchester League, obviously.
DTFC.
No, we're probably going to play
game?
good teams, I reckon. So we're gonna join the Manchester League, and we're just gonna try and be the best football team that we can. We've had 100 applicants.
That's brilliant.
We've had some ex-United players come and say that they're well up for getting involved. We've had some ex-United players come and say that they're up for getting involved in the coaching and the admin side. We're gonna fucking have it. Like I said, 100 players have applied. A quarter of them have got academy experience, so they say. I don't. There's no like fucking like drug test you can do to find out, is there? But
we all say that, though, don't we? We all say. I was on the books at United until did me name.
Did someone have a trial at Bury at fucking 7?
Yeah.
Or did someone just get released in the summer? Now we've got people that literally just got released from championship teams in the summer at 18. So there's got to be good players.
We've got a couple like that at our 5-a-side, and it's hard work playing against them, man. So I'm as dirty as they come, but even it doesn't matter how dirty I even had done LBR. They just take the piss out of you. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing Steve with his clipboard out.
I hope you get your stadium.
Put it in the mixer.
I really do.
Keep it simple.
There's a few stadiums around Manchester you could use.
Yeah, we're talking to all of them, essentially.
So are you still taking applicants?
We are still taking applicants. There's a trial on the 4th of January.
4th of January.
A month from now.
Whereabouts is the trial?
It's at Ardwick Power League.
Right. So,
but if you're interested, just hit me up because you've got to register first.
We'll put a link in the description if anyone wants to get involved in Steve's team, because I'm going to be watching it. I'm not going to be getting involved because apparently he wants players that are good at football.
Well, the conversations we've had so far, like Joey wasn't going to start us on the league team after it all got giddy. Well, we're probably going to be 4 teams by summer. We think there'll be a first team, which we're aiming... The first team's aiming for North West Counties. Right. Which is, for anyone who knows, where FC United started, just below Drawsenden, Curzon, that kind of level.
Glossop, around there.
Yeah, they're all, Celebrity Celtic, all of those teams around here are at that kind of level. We want to we're going to have a reserve team, which will probably play in the Manchester League and take the spot of the first team when they do get in there. Probably going to have an under-18 side because about 16 of those who've applied so far are under 18, so why not? And just for content and hilarity, we're probably going to still do a Sunday League team and just fill it with mentals.
Mate. When I was a kid, he's saying this when I was on your Twitter for our thing the other day. I used to love going watching Sunday League football. You see some of the funniest things you've ever seen.
We thought we were leaving so much content on the table, not doing a Sunday League.
I remember watching men rolling around, punching each other in the face, and then getting a yellow card each. It's like
drinking a pint of lager and going back on the pitch.
Outside drinking lager and smoking outside.
Did you ever know Webby when he was playing Sunday League?
I wasn't alive in the 50s.
This is only in the 2000s. Do you ever know of Webby playing Sunday League?
No.
Right. So you won't know him then. So there was a geezer called Jimmy. Right. Webby used to play centre half with this old black dude called Jimmy, who might be the angriest, most aggressive. He's a blue as well. The angriest, most aggressive, craziest dude. I mean, ask Webby about him.
Right.
He was just like a fucking hatchet job. Right. I turned up drunk one day. He used to play for the Derby Arms.
You just reminded me. I need to message Webby. Actually, well reminded.
The Derby Arms, I think, ended up having a documentary on them in the 2000s. It was called like Bad Lads FC, some fucking shit like that.
I don't know if it's that, but there was a documentary out. No, that was when I was a kid in the 90s. There was a documentary on a team from Salford.
That's from Clayton.
Team
from Clayton. They was mad as fuck. And Webby was a centre half. Not many know this. And he played alongside a dude called Jimmy. And I was well scared of Jimmy. So fucking... I was in the army at the time and terrified of this motherfucker. He didn't even like try and tackle you, just kick you and punch you and then be like, what? And the ref didn't turn up one day. So they're like, do you want a ref? I've got shoes on. I've been out. I've not even been home yet. So I'm like, all right. And obviously I know all of one team.
So that team won 25-0.
I think they won 5-1. I give a penalty, right? That wasn't even in the box. But do you know when you're like, I've already give it. Someone pushed someone, and I was like, penalty, and it was like, it's 5 foot outside the box. Like, well, I've said penalty now, so it's a penalty.
That's like me. I used to work as a barman at the Soccer Dome, and because I used to play still do play 5-a-side. When the refs didn't turn up, the manager would be like, "Can you just go and do it?" And it was horrible, right? Because it was in the leagues in the Soccer Dome 5-a-side. A lot of the time, the standard wasn't great.
God bless referees, by the way.
I know.
I know.
And you get
Maniacs.
these people arguing with you. Oh, you fucking referee, whatever. And then at the end of the game, I'd go in the bar, back to my bar job, and then they'd come in the bar, see me as a barman, and go, "You're not even a fucking referee." Start carrying on the argument. And I'd be like, fuck's sake.
Well,
so, yeah.
Jimmy just fucking... it wasn't even a tackle, he just punched someone at a corner. And I was like, I don't know what to do here, because if I book him, he might stab me. Like, so I just ignored it, and all the other team are like, "You must have fucking seen it." I was like, I didn't see it. I just didn't
That's you get out of jail free card, because if you don't see it, you can't give it. That's it.
I didn't see it.
I was looking at this bird flying over there, thinking, there's a spotted warbler that's just flown over the crossbar.
As Jimmy's going,
yeah. Oh, what? He's done what? I wouldn't. Oh no, sorry, mate. I missed that one.
Yeah, so
yeah, I'm looking.
God bless referees.
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah, I am as well. I'll be sat in the crowd. I'll get the crowd going.
We're having it. I want. We're gonna do a launch party. The launch party is probably gonna be summer. But if you're wondering what kind of vibe we're going for, the launch party is called Pints, Pizza, and Pyro. So just get it in your head. Pyro. Smoke bombs, flares.
All right, I thought it was on some sort of new drug that I missed out on.
Pyrotechnics, Jay.
Right, sorry. Just before we move off to the derby, Ollie.
Come
Is
in.
he safe now? Is that it? We've got him till the summer.
Wow.
He's earned.
What a fucking week.
He's earned it till the end of the season.
We said, didn't we, after Villa, he was in trouble.
He was in trouble.
He was. And we all said that.
We were worried.
Even though none of us are really Ollie in or out, we just support the manager. It's, we have backed him, and we all said, listen, if he loses both of these games, it could
Especially
be
if they're bad.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a proper bumming.
Not Spurs, to Jose. Let's have it right. Yeah. So loses to Jose, and then we go and get our ass.
If we got embarrassed in the derby on the back of it, you're like...
And that's the problem, because if you get embarrassed at the derby, you lose a lot of your core support, because the fans that go to the games, who are always going to back the manager, they even back Moyes to an extent.
And that's why it turned with Liverpool.
Yeah.
With Jose.
Yeah, because at Anfield, people are like, I can't defend this shit anymore. He's lost the plot. And if you lose that core support, you've got really nowhere to go. And there was a sort of suggestion that might happen to Ollie, and you can see why. But he's won them both. So does that not mean now? Has he bought himself time till the end of the season at least?
Yes.
Is he still 2 defeats away from being back under pressure? Because he's got Maurizio Pochettino waiting in the wings.
It's football, innit? You're one game from glory. You're one game from disaster. And all the haters have gone under the little rocks, like I said on Saturday night, and they're just waiting to come out again. They'll be out again.
If we play a young team, and there's the thing as well, because you've got the opposite of stat padding. You've got sabotaging going on, where he's playing a team of under 21s in European competition. That counts to his record. You know what I mean? If he was a guy that was just about stat padding, he could have put together a decent run on the back of that.
It's not that take Thursday seriously, because if you finish top of your group, you avoid the Champions League teams who come down.
Liverpool, current champions of Europe, as they like to tell us, could lose tomorrow and end up in our league with us.
Don't.
Listen, everybody, repeat after me. Fucking come on, Salzburg.
Yeah.
Fucking come on, Salzburg.
Come on, Haaland.
Yeah, come on, Haaland. Let's all do a scout job on that Haaland tomorrow night.
If he scores against Scousers, I want an immediate, on the 1st of January, or whenever the transfer window open, I want an immediate £100 million bid.
No, he has a clause for £17 million.
17 million? Fuck off.
He has a clause for £17 million.
£17 million
I'll do a
now.
GoFundMe for that by Friday.
£17 million doesn't get you
Europa League
Alexis
final
Sanchez
against Liverpool in Poland, end of the season. Oh yes, they've not won the league. They've got fuck all. They've won fuck all. And we win it.
Imagine we beat them to they bomb out of the Champions. Let's just fantasize for a minute, because it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be real. It ain't going to happen. But let's just say, Leicester, Brendan Rodgers manages to win a fucking title.
I've always rated Brendan Rodgers.
Him and his teeth. Go on,
the
son.
irony of 2014.
And then Klopp's lost his shit and he ends up in the Europa League with us, and they get to the final against us. For starters, UEFA would shit a brick seeing Liverpool and United in Poland.
Liverpool and United in Poland, I can't possibly see what can go wrong there. I think it would be an absolute prime example of harmony and
togetherness,
serenity, togetherness, yes.
Travel from the northwest on that together.
Brothers down
to
in
Eastern
62
Europe, where the beer's cheap.
Yeah, we could get flights together and just sit. We don't even need to segregate. We can just mingle in the same stand.
Yeah.
Board up your windows.
Oh my goodness! And then we beat them. And champions of Europe to second to United in Europe, and then
we can dream, man. Come on, it's football, isn't it? You know what I
weirder
mean?
things have happened.
Strange, yeah.
Like an oil-rich sheikh bought a fucking League 2 level team and turned them into a competitive football team. Mental.
That is mental.
If you'd have given me $4 billion, I honestly think me, with my limited experience, could have turned Droylsden to fucking Premier League champions in 10 years.
You'd probably get bigger crowds as well.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
We've got more history, Droylsden.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
come on, the Bloods.
You still think he's yes. You still think he's under pressure if he loses? You think he's be alright?
I think he'd be fine. Yeah.
I do think he'd be fine.
I mean, yeah, he could lose 5 games.
I know
on
you're
the
not
spin.
saying you. I know your stance is very much your back. What I'm saying is, consider the fact that our board are completely and utterly fucking inept.
Inadequate.
Is he under pressure still, or has he bought himself time? Where now
he's bought himself time.
Right.
Yeah, he's got till summer.
Right. I hope you're right, because I've said that.
He needs January transfer.
If he's got till the summer, what does he have to achieve? Because if you say he has to achieve top 4 or we're going to sack him, that's still unrealistic for me.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely that we'll get top 4, but I think if we're starting to go, okay, we know now that if we did bring in, let's just throw 2 names out there, let's say Maddison and Haaland, are we going to unpick those smaller teams? I think we might. Are we going to start to unpick teams that sit back against us? Cool. Well, if we start to do that, we know that he's got plans for the big games. Doesn't always execute, but Fergie never always 100% executed. If you can start to get points in those smaller games and you've got the record that you've got. We're Liverpool 3 years ago, where they're just fucking Bournemouth are turning them over and they had the best record in the top 6 mini league. That was exactly what they were, inconsistent, and then they brought in a couple of star players that took them to their next level, that made them be consistent against the smaller teams. That's what Ollie needs, time and the patience and the players to do that, and I think he'd be irate.
Good thing is as well, is he's got players playing for him.
Exactly.
He's got them playing.
There's a team spirit.
There's a team spirit there. He's getting the best out of Marcus Rashford, and I think he deserves some credit for that as well, because he's obviously made Marcus his man. He came in and he was straight away like, Lukaku, me, whatever. Marcus, you're my guy. And Rashford, who's had a little bit of ups and downs since Ollie took over, is now absolutely shining. He's also handled the Martial situation well. Number 9, that's you.
Still a massive Pogba question mark.
Big Pogba question mark, but to his credit, we've been getting recently, results without arguably our best player. Well, I don't think there's much of an argument talent-wise. He is our best player. He's been getting results without him.
Easy min gently.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, that's a good point. And also, whether he's responsible for them or not, he's obviously had some say in it. The signings he's made are good signings. He's not done a Van Gaal and bought 8 and 2 of them have been all right, or has done a Jose where he's bought. In fairness though,
all the Jose's that first 6 months looked great. Bay looked fantastic. Zlatan was amazing. Pogba was amazing. Mkhitaryan was outrageous. It was after that where Jose's attitude to people had gone down.
Even though the Mkhitaryan one was weird one, because he played him and dropped him for months, and it was like, well, did you want him? Was he your signing?
Well, there's pictures of Jose scouting him.
That's what I mean. It was weird. And then with Fred. Did he want him? What happened there? I still don't know what happened then. Because if you remember when playing Juventus, 1-0 down at Old Trafford, Fred, our £50-odd million midfielder signing, he's sat on the bench. United are that fucking bad. If we had Fred West on the bench, I'd have brought him on. And he doesn't fucking do anything. He just leaves him on the bench.
There's a man that could execute, isn't it?
Oh, that's bad, that man.
It's not. He said much worse. Right. Dig you out of trouble.
Fred West killed people.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
We're not exactly harming his reputation here.
He fucking carried out what he said he was going to do, at least. Fucking horrific. In fact, Jordan, let's just move on because he's a fucking absolute maniac.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which Fred are you talking about?
Yeah, Fred West.
Oh, right, sorry, I thought you were talking about our Fred. Right, anyway, he didn't bring him on, which made me think he didn't want him, or he just decided it was given, which was weird because we'd heard that he did want him. So it was always a bit weird with signings with Jose, but obviously with Ole, he wanted these players, or he's approved these signings. He's started in pretty much every single game they've been fit, and pretty much by and large, especially with James and Wan-Bissaka especially, they've been pretty good every single game. And even Maguire, I think, has been okay. Even in the games that he's not shown, he's been all right.
He's not made massive clangers, has he? He's just not been spectacular.
I think that's the thing.
You kind of want that. You don't want you don't want a spectacular centre half. It's overrated having a spectacular centre half. John Terry was spectacular because he was out of fucking position all the time.
Yeah.
Rio was underrated. I'd rather have an underrated one that's a bit more Rolls Royce.
If you think John Terry was a better defender than Rio Ferdinand, you don't know fuck all about football.
Wes Brown was a better defender than John Terry.
Yeah. Seriously, I'm not one of these going, because I don't. But if you watch football, you know.
John Terry's position. Do you know what?
Was a much better defender than John Terry.
There was one point for England. It was 2010 World Cup maybe, or 2014. Was he still playing for England then? He fucking heads it and it just went straight up, and I'm like,
it's like the one where he threw himself and he tried to head it in the 2010 World Cup in South Africa on the floor. It was like Phil Jones. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, look at that, Dunkirk spirit. He's like Bobby Moore. No, he's not.
It's
Bobby
like
Moore knew what he was doing.
Richards.
Yeah. Falling over and throwing yourself in front of the ball and missing isn't
a great match of the day player, because he was always out of position, so he'd always have to fucking use his physicality to get back and then do something spectacular to pull himself out of this shit.
Exactly.
Rio Ferdinand is criminally underrated.
It is. It's weird that you say that, because he's won the lot. Was at one point the world's most expensive defender.
You got to defend him against fucking witches who rate John Terry.
It's like people that say Vidic was better than Rio. No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
No, it was more spectacular. It was more eye-catching. You don't want your defender. It's like a good referee you can't remember.
Yeah.
That's what you want. I want my centre-half. Don't really want to remember my centre-half.
That's why we can remember all the referees now. You can literally name them all. As soon as the ref's name, you know him. And you're like, fuck, not him again.
Name the refs in the control room who do the VAR.
We've got Alkmaar this week. We're going to do an Alkmaar preview tomorrow. But before we do, just the Europa.
We need to finish top.
Are you going for it, the Europa? Are we up for this or what?
I want to win it. I really want to win it. All right, we're only 5 points off fourth place, but you got to keep all your eggs in one basket. You've got to look at the broader world. That there's opportunities, 2 opportunities. 5 points off Chelsea, Europa League. Finish top of your group. The teams that come down from the Champions League, you want to avoid them.
Chelsea having a bit of a funny time, aren't they? Is it 3 out of 4 they've lost in the league?
Is it?
I know, just
they lost 3 out of 4.
His honeymoon period is essentially coming to the end of its thing, isn't it? If you buy into that.
Are you referring that managers have a honeymoon period?
No, what happens is, there is a lift in results initially, but a team will always defer to its
something to do with the transfer embargo being lifted.
It's average to what it was prior to the guy getting lifted, proven by Emery's thing was exactly the same as Wenger's thing. Oh, that's funny. United's thing is pretty much the same as it was under Mourinho, under Ole. Oh, that's funny. It's the same fucking team.
But they've
built it. It's the thing, I'll say managers don't make that much difference. People go, but Howson said managers don't mean anything. I didn't say that. A good manager can have a big impact on a team, like Sir Alex Ferguson. He can get a better tune out of his team, and Chris Wilder might be that.
Yeah.
A good manager can get a big tune out of his team, but not everyone is a good manager. Most managers, and I include Solskjaer in this, and there's a potential that even fucking Pep Guardiola is this, they get an average return out of their team. And an average return out of this City team might be that it gets 100 points in this league. That might be the average return. What did City do for the 2 previous managers? They won the fucking league. So this guy's won the league. He's won it twice back to back. Okay, so that's a slight upturn, but he spent $1 billion. When you look at what Chelsea have done, the last fucking how many years they win the league, they're second manager. They win the league, they're second manager. They win the league, second manager. What's different about them managers? They have a different style of play, but the results are still the same.
Exactly. Are you going to sort of say that Conte is a managerial genius?
But they get sacked 8%.
Yeah.
Sarri's a genius, so this is the sacked.
Yeah, exactly.
Mourinho prior to that.
Ancelotti come in, won the league,
won the double, didn't he?
Won the double. Sacked.
It's funny, you say that, and I think that's the one thing with Fergie. You look at, going back to what you said about Pep there, you look at that team that he's had assembled for him, including De Bruyne and Sterling, who were bought for him even though they got there before he did. Those players and those positions are all outstanding. With Fergie, we won the league with Tom Cleverley playing 30 games in the season.
Right, no, that's still disingenuous because, and this is what my argument with Moyes, you still had Rooney, you still had Van Persie, you still had Giggs, you still had Rio, you still had Vidic, you still had Evra, you still had Rafael.
The point is, Fergie could get the lesser players. He had those lesser players. Danny Welbeck on the wing was a lesser player.
Because he
won
knew
the league.
how and when to
He
utilise
could get them. But that's what I mean. Pep hasn't got that issue. Pep's lesser players.
Mahrez.
Yeah, that's my point. That's why Fergie was such a genius. He could get players like... I love Darren Fletcher. Absolute legend, right? Darren Fletcher, love him to bits, yeah? But Darren Fletcher wasn't one of the best midfielders.
He's not Yaya Toure.
No, but Fergie got him into a multi-title winning midfielder. Same with Anderson, because Fergie could get those players who were probably by right 6 or 7 out of 10 players and get 8 out of 10 performances out of them. Yes, he surrounded them with superstars.
Or he slotted them into a team, and that team was capable of... Because ultimately, all you've got to do is win this Saturday and win next Saturday. That's all you've got to do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually matter if you win 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. You still get 3 points. 3 points, stack them up at the end of the season, champions. That's all that matters. Now, a lot of people like to go, the City team's the best team ever because it got the most points. They're ignoring the fact that the disparity between the league, because of the money that's earned by the teams at the top and spent by the teams at the top, people are spending more than ever before at every level. But there's I can't find I don't know the name of the graph to go and find it, and I wish I'd have saved it, because someone's plotted the points totals of the teams in every position across the Premier League for the last 25 years, and the top teams have done that, and the bottom teams have done that, which means that there's been a separation. It's almost gone like Scottish football. It's almost gone like Spanish football, where the top teams have pulled away.
Are you about to say your famous line?
No, I retracted it yesterday.
All right, okay.
So for those who don't know, I'd like to retract my might as well be Celtic line, because City will never win 3 titles back to back, and it was fucking wrong of me to think that they could ever do something along those lines, even though they managed to win a title in a shit league, because all they did was beat United, and United was shit and we came second.
And don't forget,
so I've retracted that line.
Celtic have won.
Yeah,
the
Celtic
Champions League once in their history, or the European Cup.
So I was so wrong. So I apologise to Celtic,
on Celtic.
For even comparing you to Manchester City. But yeah, so there's been a massive big widening of the gap. So, like, if that Manchester United side of 2008 played now, I would assume they'd get way over 100 points. Because the league was tighter at the time.
It's just fucking better. Look at the team. Fuck me. It's not that hard. Do you know what I mean? Look at the two teams. Now, unless you've got the most blue-tinted fucking glasses on that have ever been invented, you cannot look at that 2008 team and look at City's team and go, that City team's better.
I need to find something on my...
You can. I don't get how this argument has happened.
There was a City fan I was arguing with who told me that Joleon Lescott was world-class and Rio has never been world-class.
Mate, I had City fans telling me Iniesta was better than Marcus Rashford.
That's an argument that's gone away, hasn't it? Does he even get a fucking game for Leicester? Is he even at Leicester still? Where's he at?
He scored the other week, and the reason it made headlines, it was so fucking rare. Do you know what I mean? My God, you know what I mean? We're through the looking glass here, people. If you want to be the best team ever, right, you win 3 in a row, and you win the Champions League during that time. Unless you've done that, you're not in the conversation.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. See, Keno.
Very difficult to win 3 in a row.
Yeah. I love him. I love that man.
I don't know if I should fucking say whose name it is. I have a feeling I know who the player is that Roy Keane was talking about when he said he's going to give a pep talk to the young lads, and one of them looked disinterested. I don't think I should name him because I think
remind me of this because I missed this. I don't know what you're on
Let
about.
me get the quote. Right. So Roy Keane's been invited down to training and he's given...
I've heard something about this morning.
I heard something about Roy Keane at training. I thought it was a joke. I'm not gonna lie. Not saying.
Was this before the derby?
Yeah.
So Ollie's invited him down to training.
Yeah, Ollie's invited him down to training. He's gone and done a pep talk. Let me find it.
I think if you're a youngster there, you're probably ringing in sick, aren't you?
Young player, fucking like.
Keno's coming down. What?
Let me just find it. Young player, Keane. Let's see what comes up.
While you're finding that, that's another argument that you hear often. Roy Keane weren't that good. I've heard that one.
I would just immediately cancel the conversation with anybody because
I've seen it on Twitter.
Outrageous. Right, Roy Keane in a secret trip to Man United training to address young players.
It's not very secret. It's on a fucking news article.
If it's in the fucking paper, so yeah, clearly secret. Although Keane is said to have been left unimpressed by one star who didn't seem to be all that interested. So clearly that now means, let's write an article about it, someone was clearly tossing it off. There's a number of players that we've got in the academy. who have resting can't be arsed face.
Resting bitch face, as the kids
Yeah,
say.
like look at Tony Marshall. You could be telling Tony Marshall about anything. He's gonna look disinterested because that's his face. So I have my. I think I know who it is.
Right.
But I don't think it's fair to say.
Well, if you don't know for definite,
No, I kind of do.
right? Is it your mate?
No.
Right. Okay.
I just don't think it's fair to label him as this.
all right, yeah,
because if he starts getting labelled as doesn't look arsed, people start making that narrative when it's anything but the fucking truth.
Right.
Don't like, I saw for a while that Marcus Rashford's got an attitude problem, and I'm like, I don't know anyone with a better attitude. What are you talking about?
Is that not slightly just
a bit unfair?
Almost racist.
It's just
Is it?
just nonsense.
Yeah, like, he's got
He's
an
one of the
attitude
most
problem.
hard-working, honest
It
players.
is a criticism often levelled at black players. They've got an attitude problem or a laser. I'm not saying that the person that said that is racist. I don't know who said it, but
Of all the things you could say about Marcus, do either of those two things make any sort of
why
sense
is
to
that
you?
one as well? He didn't want a beer or he didn't put a shift. Marcus Rashford was hobbling around against the Scousers, stopping them winning the title. He was literally hobbling around, and he was still getting in behind him. He was literally pressing him back on his own almost. So I don't know. The world's gone fucking mad. We're in a world where Iheanacho's better than him.
Yeah.
Right,
Boris
before
Johnson.
we go,
Oh, did you see that?
Go on.
It got me that yesterday.
what?
I can't repeat the word, but someone had made up what looked like a Jeremy Corbyn account and said something about Boris. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Mint. It got me. Now I had to go to VAR for a minute and just see what it was. It was obviously a blag account.
Talking of Boris Johnson, Wally of the week.
I am Madam McCollum.
I'll let you go first, Mr. Tate. Right, you always say Scrooge McDuck.
Well, I'm not going to say him.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that's Ed Woodward in Andy
really
Powers.
haven't
Right, I'm going to throw mine in
Go
then.
on then,
I'm
you
going
go
to say,
first and I'll let
I'm
you
going to
pick
say,
one.
fucking our kid there that was fucking trying to put his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think you are the Wally of the week, mate, because you're trying to act hard when you fucking... I mean, for starters, did only divs sit on the front row? What's all that about? It's just like the fucking worst of humanity on the front row, innit? Anyway, so...
you are on the front
you're
row
acting
with,
like
with,
a
with
fucking...
your children because it's easier to say.
Whether
than,
it's
you know,
racist
a
or
div.
not, which you seemingly think you've got an excuse for, regardless of that, you was acting like a fucking weapon on national TV. If you worked for me, I'd have sacked you anyway, whether it was racist or not.
Yeah.
So, you're the fucking Wally of the week. Definitely if it's racist, but even just for fucking acting a goat, you're 50 as fuck. Sort your fucking neck out.
Well said. Mr. Tate.
The people who give Marcus Rashford a hard time in the start of the season, ranting and raving, you know what I mean? Look at him now, lads.
Well, this is
10 in 10, possibly 11 in 10.
It's almost like being a supporter means supporting young players when they're going through a bad patch.
Imagine that.
Imagine actually doing that.
Giving him
Imagine
support
supporting
away
a player, a
games.
young
team
player who's
you
come through the
support.
academy and helping him get through it by, you know what I mean, not just blindly following him, but supporting him. Imagine doing that instead of just, labelling him as shit all the time. My Wally of the week, although Steve, I am gravitating towards you. I'm gonna say,
Wally.
I'm gonna say, right, anyone, and you know who you are, who's just used this as an excuse to fucking have a dig at certain people. Do you know what I mean? We know who's the racist one here and who's the one that you want to be pointing a finger at. It's him, the muppet who's been doing it. So, a few people have suddenly started getting all sanctimonious and started using it as an excuse to have a go at other people. No. Yeah, they're my Wally of the weeks.
Yeah, I agree on them.
This has been the Full-Time Devils podcast. Probably been about, whenever me and you sit together, it always lasts for about an hour, and then we throw Andy Tate in the mix and you're asking for trouble. Nick, how long is
Thanks
that,
a
mate?
lot.
Producer Nick?
Too long.
Is he
Too
still
long.
awake?
He's fell asleep there, I think. Andy, you can check him out on Instagram, MUFC_Andy_Tate. Yep. He'll be ranting and raving no matter what. Stephen Howson, you can check him out on about 12 different channels. And he's, as he said, he's running football
Babe
teams.
Station from 6 o'clock.
Yeah, Cornhope at midnight.
I don't want, you know what, no, I just had that thought in my head. I'm over at Full-Time Devils always. You can get this podcast on Spotify, Audio Boom, iTunes, and all that stuff. You know where to find us. Don't forget to hit subscribe, give us a rating, a review, and all that, and a like. And thanks for listening and watching.